Gwynnicor yn gydol sias to fircin ohasarym felly vermadjan. Agus gam a weekes le uchtran come and look la scale manil a sochten correliohir shin. Agus comale shin as an cortesius and knastak how oscor omhain agus ma van kele saivin. It's a very great pleasure to be here, and I want to thank all of the members of the Gaelic Athletic Association, and particularly the President, Liam O'Neill, for that very warm introduction. I remember meeting him, in fact, at a game of shinty in Ennis last year. And I also want to thank the former president of Cumann Glasgow, Christy Cooney, for his warm greeting on our arrival here this morning at the venue in Ericalumkilla. Tá áhasarm bhein sear maidin, agus is mín lam mo wichas a cumaile sin leis an ard stúrthór páric a doffi. Nuair a mé bheith genab ma agan a sús conas a bheach mé tíocht, bhí mé léhan túrascáil is an áras ihe a réir. Ach tá mé bhíh go as a cuireach cuin chun seach le labhart leis an cógáil nniu. Agus ma bhuiáil a gháil libh sibh go léir, freisin as an bhíorcín fáilte Derry sibhre a héanas rim a bhain céile saibhín. Tá fisagam go bhfuil páric féin ina príomhéidir coláiste the néamh má cartan muineachán. Agus is coláiste í a réimhse de phléisiúram cuairta thuairt ar an neoraí le lindam bheith ag dul agóla le chuige na tíre. Agus bhhailm cógódachas a go bhfuil le páric a sé bheith an géad oltach a ceapach chuig post an áirstúrthóra agus goim ga grá ar an obair me siúil aige. It's a particular pleasure to be here during a time that is a very special year for Derry. To be designated the City of Culture for 2013 is a great honour, but it is an honour that is richly merited. And I know that Derry Gaelic Athletic Association are active participants in this venture. Agus ariam an cui in a lure to féin óchtran an tóbhachta tó buint leis an cuairte. I think the Derry Gaelic Athletic Association are making their own important and unique contribution to the demonstration of Derryculumkilla's impressive culture and heritage throughout the year. You know, as you said yourself, President, it is very hard to discuss Irish culture and Irish history without acknowledging the central role that the Gaelic Athletic Association has played in Irish life for many, many years, and how closely intertwined it is with local communities and with Irish society as a whole, and indeed with the great transformations that have taken place historically in Irish society. It is worth remembering that an organisation that is now represented in continents across the globe began as a meeting between 7 men in Hayes' Hotel in Thurles to discuss the setting up of a new organisation to govern what they said, the playing of Irish pastimes. And you know, going through the report of the Áirstúrthóir, I was fascinated to see the figures that now 2,550 clubs, 64 in Europe, 40 in New York, 93 in North America, 19 in Canada, 58 in Australia, 28 in Asia. And in London, where I have visited them myself, in 31, Hertfordshire 7, Warwickshire 18, 5 in Gloucestershire, 11 in Lancashire, 8 in Yorkshire, and 5 in Scotland. I think those 7 men who met in Hayes' Hotel, Maurice Davin, who became the first president of the newly established organisation. And it's to his credit and those who were with him that within 2 months it had attracted 6,000 spectators to a hurling match in Galway, bearing testament, no doubt, to fellow founder Michael Cusick's words that the new association was sweeping the country like wildfire. Archbishop Croke, Michael David and Charles Stewart Purnell were asked to become its patrons. And indeed, the office of president, Uachtaran Mar Uachtaran na Héireann, was embroiled quite early in difficulty when a strict ban was imposed on members playing or attending any foreign games. The association and then my then fledgling office and its occupant Douglas the Heather were embroiled in considerable controversy when in 1938 Douglas the Heather was removed as patron for attending a soccer match in Dalymount Park. I would have been long gone myself, I'm afraid, if the same circumstances and things like that. And I have to tell you, and it's a long time since I left Newmarket and Fergus and watched soccer in the Markets field accompanied by the Vigilance Committee from Corracotterlade. I have to say as well that this, and I must say these stories as well, I pay tribute as an academic myself lapsed to the wonderful archive that the Gaelic Athletic Association has, and which is going to be such a rich store for historians into the future. But you know, Common Luclas Gael continues to be so much more than a sports association, just managing a series of fixtures and results. It is the beating heart of many communities across the country, connecting neighbour to neighbour, promoting intergenerational solidarity among young and old, and uniting a diverse mix of people as they cheer together for their county colours. There's many an argument in many a place in Ireland over the years that always ends with the killer question, but who do you shout for? Indeed, for anyone who grew up in Ireland, it is almost impossible to imagine Irish life without our GAA clubs, or to envisage a time when our great Gaelic sporting culture was not handed down to children and grandchildren, bonding one generation to the next, as well as its many, many achievements. Now, in current circumstances, and again reading the report of the Orts Dúrthór, I am very mindful of the difficulties faced by Common Lucas Gael as a result of the economic downturn in recent years. In particular, the impact that immigration is having on the vitality and indeed in many cases the viability of some clubs in rural Ireland. And I commend the association for the priority that it is attaching to addressing this challenge. Its clubs abroad, where I have visited, are now sometimes functioning for many as a home from home, as a place to keep the connection with Ireland. The official GAA figures for the end of 2012 are really great evidence of the key role the association plays in Irish society. By the end of last year, Common Luclas Gael had almost 250,000 registered players, presided over 2,359 affiliated clubs, and had over 300 staff working on games development at provincial and county level. And I think that the GAA's range of innovative programs, it has reached into the heart of community life, including nationwide coaching to primary schools, summer camps, children's competitions, and the inventive but very important Off the Booze and On the Ball health promotion initiative, which invites its members to reflect on their use of alcohol and to choose sport and health instead. It is a great aspiration, of course, to aspire to play for one's native county, and an even greater achievement to actually do so. But then the time comes to leave. As a player, maybe a certain void emerges. It's just over 50 years ago that John B. Keane wrote one of his most poignant and for me moving plays, The Man from Clare, which focused on the loneliness of an aging GAA star as he faces a life compromised and diminished by earlier sacrifices. It is a circumstance which was reflected on in an initiative proposed by my predecessor, Mary McAleese, and aimed at tackling the isolation felt by many older men in rural communities. Such is the integral role of the GAA within our society, that they were the obvious and immediate choice to manage and run this social initiative, and they came on board immediately and enthusiastically. Today, a wide range of activities are carried out in clubs across the country, alleviating loneliness and enabling both the renewal of old friendships and the formation of new ones, and the transmission of the heritage of the GAA. And I have to say I look forward to receiving representatives who are involved in the GAA social initiative in Áras an Uachtaráin in Bealtaine in May. Amongst younger people too, the GAA can be a source of friendship, and the importance of friendship, and the ethics of friendship, and the awakening to new possibilities. In fact, when I instigated my own discussion last year on being young and Irish, one of the regional workshops was held in the Nemo Rangers GAA Club in Cork, and it was genuinely exciting to feel the sense of possibility, na féidirachtaí gan teorann, and the real desire to realize that possibility that emanated from the young people that I met there. The GAA in Derry, on Lucas Gael and Eric Killa, has been playing its own important and central role within its many individual communities for almost 130 years now, creating numerous memories and weaving itself into the history of Derry towns and villages and the annals of many family lives. During that time, too, it has also, of course, survived much political turbulence and violence, including the recent troubles during which 350 Derry citizens lost their lives. In recent years, it has more happily played witness to Derry's reincarnation as a young and vibrant city looking confidently towards a better future and a shared people. The sense of renewed optimism, of community and colúdarachas, solidarity, which is now so palpable in this wonderful ancient city that is living in modern times, is a transformation in which the Derry GAA has played no small part, reflecting and living the Common Lucas Gael mission statement, which states that we welcome people of all nationalities, religions, ages and abilities into our association, and we make it easy for everyone to take part. We champion equality within the Irish sporting landscape and communities overseas. We work with the GAA family to make sure that we offer an inclusive and welcoming environment for everyone. What a splendid mission statement for any party. These are important, essential words that must lie at the heart of any community, and they are words which assume an added significance when spoken in a city which has come through, lived through and survived so many years of bitter divisiveness, born out of prejudice and misunderstanding. And it is uplifting to see the spirit so tangibly present in all that the GAA does and all that it has achieved. So I greatly welcome and commend the various initiatives that Common Lucas Gael has taken, especially the Ulster Council, in promoting reconciliation on this island and in extending the hand of welcome and friendship to communities in Northern Ireland who traditionally did not participate in Gaelic games. The welcome that was extended by Christy Cooney to Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth when she visited Croke Park in 2011 was reflective of the association's generous commitment to an inclusive and shared future. The GAA mission statement is also daily enacted across the country, with local clubs actively engaged in welcoming all sections of society to their activities. In this regard, I welcome the priority that the association attaches to eradicating any forms of abusive attitude or behaviour in Gaelic games. You will appreciate that I am not an expert on the inappropriate tackle. I know that the GAA is also committed to promoting the participation of people with disabilities in sports, to ensuring that talent, skill and enthusiasm of members with disabilities is recognised. The success of Team Ireland, with our 16 medals at the London Paralympic Games, reflects what can be achieved when we support and empower athletes with disabilities. I greatly welcome the enormous growth in the popularity of ladies' Gaelic football since its establishment. By the time the GAA was celebrating its 125th anniversary, over 130,000 females in this country of all different levels and abilities were engaging in Gaelic football. In addition, camogie has become one of the most popular team sports in Ireland, attracting females from many different ethnic backgrounds to participate in over 500 clubs around the world. Agus focal specialta. The GAA has also played a central role in Líoráid Láimhe, Irish handball, with the Irish Handball Council being renamed the GAA Irish Handball Council 4 years ago. Last year, the World Handball Championships were held in Ireland, a great accolade indeed, and yet another accomplishment for the Irish sporting world. So the reach and inclusivity of the GAA stretches beyond these shores, and the GAA community has provided an important sense of home, as I have said, and continuity for our immigrants over the many years and for the younger ones now, many of them battling against a sense of displacement or strangeness as they try to create new homes around the world. Last summer, I was delighted to be the first President of Ireland to visit the headquarters of the GAA in London. In Ruislip, I was hugely impressed by the solidarity that existed between the young Irish men and women who are part of the GAA family in Britain, and by the scores of young children who were enthusiastically chasing the football or the schlitter on the field of play. So it is reassuring to know that so many of our diaspora still retain their love of GAA sports, their enthusiasm for supporting their county team, finding within that enthusiasm an indelible link to home and parish and town and village, and a means to connect with other members of our diaspora, wherever they may be in the world. Many have also played Gaelic games in their new homelands, introducing other nations, new enthusiasts to an important part of our proud culture and heritage. Even in Argentina, the hurling club so named in Buenos Aires, which I visited last October, still cherishes its links with Gaelic games, even if rugby and hockey are now its major sports. But they are training young people in Gaelic football and in hurling. Indeed, there are GAA clubs in every continent, as I have listed, across the globe, and over 2,600 official clubs exist now around the world. This year, of course, Confocal Square this year is, of course, an important one for the Irish diaspora, as the gathering reaches out to our many friends, family and connections overseas, inviting them to join us in a year-long celebration of all that is great and important about their home country. I am pleased to say that the gathering has been really embraced by GAA clubs throughout Ireland, and the government, I know, are very grateful for that. And many clubs have come together to invite supporters, old and new, from near and far to gather with them this year. Concreach a carlish and made the roms move weakest a goal a rish dan firkin falch a darif shiv rom is an quira hog shiv a hiol shiv done. Near cartuin tall of slana yet of den jahil, den flahulacht anima, no den chimanta serniliero aka shin ilig aibrin co cruishin down a quinto, gavanan and GAA with law. Jenim Cogarta Casrish, lo should Iliog and Sharnu, a yenin a gianer son common Lucas Gaelicama, a cunyal sitya grilor na publisher Agnia. Ta Sulam, Ganarian Leshan Gogolsha, Agas Gamin Jahara Agas Ship Takale Kele Concastene a Capitalis a Flay. Agus consiachtar vrehenne távachta, a met siúncaracha gach level den agrach, sna blianta a táleach tíart. A óchtarán is a bhil, a anatathe, gur imrá agus gach banacht ó níarachtaí don táhachaí is gur a maithagé as acht éiste slán.